It is March 4th, 2022. Welcome to Wrestling Inc. After Dark. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, your host, joined by Alfred Kanawa and NYC Demon Diva Issa tonight to talk about the classy yet seductive world of professional wrestling. We're going to break it down blow by blow, beat by beat, not go too fast, not go too slow. We're going to do it at a medium pace, just the way you like it, here on Wrestling Inc. After Dark. Welcome to the show, my co-hosts. Smackdown, Rampage. Alfred, what'd you think of the shows tonight?
Good to be on the podcast here at the Quiet Storm on Wrestling Inc. Motion in the Ocean is always something that is preferred, and I thought both shows were very sexy, Glenn. I thought both shows were very sexy.
But classy. Sexy,
very
but classy. Not trashy.
Yes, both shows were very, very on the mark in terms of being professionally produced, professional wrestling program. I very much enjoyed it.
True. Issa, did you enjoy tonight's night of softcore wrestling for couples?
Yes, I definitely did. I had a great time. I enjoyed the entertainment. I enjoyed the professional wrestling. I enjoyed a lot of things. I thought it was well put together programming for everybody's viewing experience.
It's true. I was sports entertained, and yet they left me wanting more, which is really the best thing you can say about 3 hours. 3 hours, some might say too long. I say just the right length of sports entertainment.
1,000%.
Very professional time length.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Alfred, before we hop in to the hot action tonight that we saw on SmackDown and Rampage, what's in the news?
Yeah, a little bit of floor play with the news here. Let's start with WWE Network. They have immediately shut down operations in Russia in response to the controversies and atrocities going on in Russia with Russia and Ukraine. They released a press release that read, "The move eliminates access in Russia to any WWE programming, including the company's weekly Raw, SmackDown, and NXT shows, its on-demand library, and all of its premium live events, including WrestleMania 38. So WWE Network, at least for the time being, no more in Russia. What do you think about that, Glenn?
Well, I think it's important that there are actions and repercussion for those that do any form of entry without consent. And I applaud WWE for taking that stand.
It's a great take.
I can't even follow that up, Alfred. I'm going to be very honest with you. Glenn here worded it perfectly, but I'm very happy that they did something about it and that they're taking action.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, so WWE very much making it clear their stance, and what can they do? That's all they could do. So very good on WWE for that. Moving on to a potential WWE superstar. Heard a lot of different things about Cody this past week. The latest is that Cody Rhodes is apparently on. I mean, WWE Creative is being told to work on storylines for Cody Rhodes, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He's heavily rumored to be headed back to WWE, and so now internally, the belief is Cody Rhodes will be doing something with WWE, and at least the writers have been told to prepare for him coming to WWE. It looks like they're aiming for the Raw after WrestleMania for him to be one of the big returns, which would kind of make sense. I've said in the past that I would like him to be on WWE TV as soon as possible if they did land him, but the Raw after WrestleMania would be another good spot to be if he can't be at WrestleMania or if he's not going to be in WWE anytime soon. There were also reports this past week from Bodyslam.net that said talks fizzled out, but it does seem like it's all systems go with Cody Rhodes in terms of internally, at least. Issa.
I think that wherever Cody Rhodes is going, they need to take advantage and capitalize on this like right away. Because in wrestling, this week's news are all news next week, and if you wait too long, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that guy," because he's not the buzz that he has going around him right now is insane. And I think any company, wherever he ends up, they need to capitalize and put him on TV as soon as possible.
And I would say, WWE, don't be so thirsty. You're going back and forth. You're talking about it. You're saying, hey, maybe we should get together sometime, hang out, make some plans, do some things. And you're seeing the dots, but you're not getting that text back. Don't make the plans until they're confirmed. And even then, don't overdo it, because then potentially you might be disappointed. I say, WWE, Cody, be spontaneous. Live in the now, baby. It's 2022. We're swinging.
Yeah.
What if Cody fell asleep? I've fallen asleep typing a text before. So maybe that's why you're still seeing the dots. Maybe he just fell asleep and forgot to hit send.
Let's just hope
Perhaps.
WWE's not just teasing us like this, giving us blue, you know what. But I would like.
Oh,
to
they're
see
playing.
Cody
They're
Rhodes
playing
more.
just the tip. Definitely playing just the tip.
Yeah, they're definitely playing just the tip. Our final news story is AEW Dynamite's ratings were flaccid this week, with just 966,000 viewers on TBS. Of course, Tony Khan had hyped a big announcement, which I do think helped the viewership. AEW Dynamite was happening pretty much at the same time that there were major developments within Ukraine. So World News did dominate in the ratings. There was a Knicks game on that did very well in the ratings, and AEW down slightly from the 1 million mark they did. But it has to be something of a disappointment considering last time Tony Khan really hyped something up, it did a very good number, the best number of the year, in fact, for Keith Lee's debut with 1.1 million, but 966,000 for AEW Dynamite. Glenn.
Tony, first off, 52 weeks a year, there's bound to be some times where you don't knock it out of the park. It happens. But hey, Tony, AEW, performance issues can happen to anyone. We've all been there. Sometimes we get up in our heads. Sometimes we're distracted. World events, man. World events, sometimes you're thinking, I want to do this, but my head and my heart just aren't fully in it. And sometimes you don't get those perfect 10s. You don't get those rave reviews, the 5 stars. And I say, Tony, it's okay. And you know what AEW needs is their sponsor, Blue Chew. Because, guys, it's 2022. And wrestling is horny again. We've established this. You've got these thoughts. You're watching these shows. You're thinking about it. Sometimes you're thinking about it so much that when it's time to step up to the plate, you can't start that new year off with a bang because you're thinking about professional wrestling. You're thinking about AEW and those flaccid ratings. We all know that confidence could take you far in the life, but if you don't have it in the bedroom, there could be problems. So here's the deal. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them day or night, anytime. You can plan ahead. You could be ready whenever the opportunity arises. You could say, hey, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? Taking my Blue Chew.
You get to stay up late.
Exactly. And Blue Chew makes it simple. The process is so easy. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you'll get that prescription within days. So you order it during Dynamite. It's there by Rampage. You're good to go. The best part, it's all done online, so no visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no having to explain that, I just can't give what I used to because I'm so concerned about AEW and Cody and WWE. Doc, I'm distracted. You don't have to have that conversation. It's all online, no waiting line at the pharmacy, and Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA. And isn't patriotism so important here in this day and age? Plus, it's prepared to ship direct to your door in a discreet package. And hey, with Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. So make that lasting impression. Forget the first impression. Let's make that lasting impression. Get off the couch, get back to work. If your tool needs an upgrade, go to BlueChew.com and use our promo code WINC. You're going to get your first shipment for free. You're just going to pay $5 shipping. You're going to get to try it. You're going to get to use it. You're going to get to enjoy it. BlueChew.com, promo code WINC. There's nothing sexier than confidence. We all know this.
Yeah.
Blue Chew can help you get it back.
I have a question about our sponsor, Blue Chew.
Yes.
Let's say that Alfred has a young lady waiting in the waiting room, and he has finished manscaping, and he decided to take a Blue Chew. What will be the waiting time for this young lady?
So it does vary depending on your metabolism. But the nice thing about chewable as opposed to a pill, it's convenient. And you can do it discreetly. You ever try and dry swallow a pill discreetly? No, it doesn't work. But chewable, you could be doing your thing and you could just, you could be just like, oh, hey, I'm nuzzling on the ear or the neck of your man or your woman. And you could just kind of put that in, just chew it right up, right there. None the wiser. It's your secret weapon. And when you use that promo code,
so he can Blue Chew while he manscapes, basically.
He could knock it out together.
Wow, that's very tempting.
Yes.
When you manscape, I think sometimes it helps to be able to. I'm not going to finish the sentence. You all.
No, finish the sentence. I want to hear the rest of this.
No,
please.
you gotta. I don't know what you mean, Glenn. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't either, Glenn. You're going to have to spell this out to me.
I'm very confused. So please tell me, what do you mean?
How can I put this tastefully and tactfully? Because that's what we're all about here on Wrestling Inc. After Dark.
Oh, yeah.
I think much like when you're getting your hair cut, sometimes the barber will, put your hair through their fingers and then like put it at attention and then do the trimming. I think you don't want to be dealing with bunched up hardware while you're trying to manscape. You really want to make sure that left, right, up, down, that you can really guide the directional stick, as it were, to keep it out of the way.
So hardware is the key word.
Key
how hard
is
are we
key.
talking?
Well, I think the harder the hardware, the better for your software.
See, this all sounds great, but I honestly don't think I'd be able to fit in my own waiting room if I ever took a blue shoe. You know what I mean?
Well, Alfred, that sounds like a challenge. You'll have to report to us back here on Wrestling Inc. After Dark after you go to BlueChew.com and use that promo code WINC to get your first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping and handling. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
I love it. The Blue Chew Challenge. That is all the news, by the way. And I think we're lubed up and ready to go.
I think we're primed. I think it's time for action. Let's start with SmackDown. And man, talk about starting off hot. Sometimes you want to start it off a little cool, a little warm, a little bit of a build. But oh no, tonight, starting off hot with the announcement that we're going to have Roman Reigns on screen. Paul Heyman hyping Roman's presence. We know that we're going to have the Viking Raiders tonight versus the Usos. They were just giving us a taste, just giving us a tease, giving us an exhibition of everything we were going to see when they got down to it tonight on SmackDown. But then did they deliver with the WWE Intercontinental Title Match with Ricochet versus Sami Zayn. Now, we all know it's not about the destination. It's often about the journey. But tonight, that payoff, that finish to the match, Ricochet with that pin, I was excited.
Yes, I was excited as well. I actually called this on my pre-gaming stream, not trying to, toot my own horn, but I said Johnny Knoxville needs to cost Sami Zayn their title. That match does not need to happen for a title. Why not give the opportunity to somebody else? Very excited for Sami Zayn. The match itself was incredible. Both of these guys were making each other look so good. It was just so enjoyable that I even kind of like frowned a little bit when Johnny Knoxville music hit, because I did want them to go on a little bit longer. Maybe they should have taken Blue Shoe. But overall, this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Ricochet. But props to WWE by spicing things up in WrestleMania season. We have Finn Balor win the U.S. title on Raw, and we have Ricochet win the IC title on SmackDown. Guys that supposedly WWE had no plans for are now holding titles. What do you know?
So, Alfred, where was your excitement level at during this match?
Very extremely excited, especially after I saw Ricochet win that. It like blew my load early because it was the first match, such a great finish, and Ricochet winning the Intercontinental Championship, one of the best finishes I think of 2022, because it's long overdue, and I'm very long overdue. I'm talking extra large overdue. And I'm glad to see this man win his first championship. I think he's going to be a great Intercontinental Champion. And I agree with Issa wholly in terms of Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn not having to be done for a title. I think it would have actually devalued the title. But I love Sami Zayn, but it's more of a kind of comedy thing. And it just fits his character to win this title, brag about it, and then immediately lose it. And they're giving Ricochet a push, and I love it.
It's very good. And Sami Zayn learned something we all know, is that when it's a time of action, a distraction can be perhaps the worst thing. And Sammy, I feel for you, brother. We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've
Try
all
to
been
use
there.
some soft music, soft music. I've heard about this happening.
Maybe think about baseball.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. But
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville interfering in this match, taunting Sami Zayn. Ricochet's pin move tonight, and perhaps I'm the prisoner of the moment, but we all know sometimes your most recent high point seems like the best. Ricochet's finish tonight, I'm going to put in the top 3 Ricochet maneuvers of all time.
Yeah.
Wow, of all time.
The way he did that pin with the flip,
It looked amazing. Yeah, with kind of an ode to Ray, where he just did it, and so quickly in terms of Hurricane I think that is a move that he should use, more often. But I thought it looked really good. But I don't know about top 3 all time. Ricochet's got some banger moves that he hasn't even gotten to break out in WWE yet.
that was smooth tonight. Very smooth.
Very smooth.
Very smooth and very
Hopefully we
effective.
get to see Yeah, hopefully we get to see some of those moves from Ricochet as Intercontinental Champion. We'll see what kind of run they give him. I tweeted about it, and I am here for a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania for the IC title, like they did at WrestleMania 32, WrestleMania 31. Bring it back and let these guys just go at it like wild animals.
But tastefully. That's the key.
But tastefully, of course.
Always.
This was a very good match. Highly recommend watching this tonight. This will probably excite you more than any other video on the internet. And yes, I know the websites that you're thinking of. This was better. This was absolutely fantastic. So glad to see this. Love seeing Sami Zayn. Just furious after him versus Johnny Knoxville is going to be a high point and very entertaining at WrestleMania.
I'm actually looking forward to it more now under these circumstances. So I think they did a good job all around.
So, Alfred, how did you feel when Austin Theory showed up tonight?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised to see Austin Theory show up and confront Pat McAfee. I thought that was actually a pretty well done segment, all things considered. But, you know, according to what we've been hearing for the past week or so, the word on the street was that it would be Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee. Who knows? They still could work him into this WrestleMania match, but it looks like functionally it's going to be Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee, which I think is going to be a better match functionally. It's not going to bring 100,000 people into a building, but it's going to be safer. I think it's going to be better than people realize. And I thought Pat McAfee did a good job in this segment. It's been a good week for Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely. I was not surprised. I was so relieved that they didn't do this at Pat's show and they actually let that be a sit-down interview where we got to learn so much about Vince McMahon. I really, really enjoyed the fact that it ended up just being a real interview and he just made him the offer as a business offer. I enjoyed that, but I figured tonight we were going to have to start seeing the teeth of who this person is going to be, and nobody made more sense than Austin Theory. I personally wanted to see Cody Graves in a little announcer versus announcer thing since Cody is clear. But I'm not going to complain about Pat versus Austin Theory either.
What if we get the odd couple tag team of Austin Theory and Vince McMahon? Who would you pair Pat McAfee with, Issa?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh, I like that. Alfred?
Shane McMahon. I said what I said. Shane McMahon.
I don't think you understand that the winner of the Theory and Pat match gets adopted by Vince because he's now looking for a new son. So yeah. I don't think that that's a possibility.
Brian Barry with the $4.99 super chat saying the CM Punk and MJF feud is getting me hyped for Sunday. CM Punk promo tonight was off the chain. Brian, don't get too hyped. You don't want to peak in crescendo too early. Yeah. Save it for
very
Sunday.
Embarrassing.
It's true.
And they're doing a good job building toward that. Yes.
Yeah, or if you're going to, do it tonight, so Saturday you're in your refractory period, and then come Sunday, you're good to go again.
Don't tell him when to do that. He'll come whenever he wants. It doesn't have to be Sunday. He can come on.
Unless you're beer. If you're beer, you never come. Okay.
I gotta find out Veer's secrets. Maybe he's taking Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew should be the sponsor of this beer vignette.
Yeah.
Brian Cyrus, $2. Are they airing the Madison Square Garden show on Peacock tomorrow?
None that I know of.
They should, but yeah, it doesn't sound like they are.
Brian, some things are so special. You can't nor should you film them. It should just be up here. The memory.
It's a private show.
Absolutely. So Antoine Fair, $2. P-Up got some awesome. I don't even know what's that stand for before I say it out loud.
What does P-Hub stand for?
No, the other part.
Oh.
Is that typo for vids? I think it's a typo for vids because the C and the I. I think he's saying some awesome videos. Tonight, Ricochet versus Sami was better. Better than anything you'll see on any website on the internet.
High praise.
Unless it's, yes, absolutely. Terry Allen Jr., $5.30 saying, did you trio see up, down, play 2K22? New presentation with the camera movement and the flow was clean. I'm glad.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to check it out.
Yeah, me too. I saw it was on my dock, and so check it out eventually. But that game looks like a lot of fun. Actually, it looks like they took time, attention to detail. Sometimes you need to kind of screw up in order to get back to basics and realize what you need to do better. And that debacle with WWE 2K 2020, I think, forced them to be on their game this time around.
Alfred said they took their time. Yeah, 2 freaking years. So I will hope that everything is good.
Right. You got to take your time sometime, Issa.
Like what we're all about here on Wrestling Inc. After Dark. But I would say sometimes, as a wise man once said, when you were starving, someone can give you a cracker, and it's the best cracker you ever had in your life. But have it a couple times, and you say, wait, these are just plain old crackers. And that's been my experience with every WWE video game in recent memory. Brian Berry 499 asking, who would y'all have win that match between MJF and Punk?
MJF.
I think for this match in particular, it should be Punk, just based on the fact that MJF, destroyed CM Punk and just how the storyline is going. I wouldn't have a problem with MJF winning. I think that really put him over, but I just see CM Punk winning this match.
Why should it be Punk? Why should it be Punk? He's the idiot that fell for it. Let him pay his lesson. Let him learn his lesson. He should have not fallen for it.
I think that'd make him look even worse as a babyface, though. You're really kind of burying him for not only to get duped by the heel, but now he's losing after getting bloodied, and it's like, what's the point of even having another match?
Maybe we turn him heel. Then maybe finally we turn him heel, and he can stop being happy to be here, CM Punk. It'd
be a lot of fun. And if they turn him heel, they actually kind of validate MJF for, it's like, MJF will say, see, I told you, but is that what you want to do? Yeah. Do you want to validate MJF? Because then people might want to start cheering MJF if he's always got a good point about these guys.
Yes, anytime that we validate MJF, I am here for it. Not that I'm biased or anything. It's not that MJF is my favorite AEW wrestler. Nothing like that. I'm just saying.
Not that you have a scarf or anything.
No, I don't have a Burberry scarf that I wear every Wednesday. Not at all.
Stephen Marcuccioli, 499, asking how you would feel about Cody leading an invasion angle similar to the NWO intro with Scott Hall.
Same way I feel about any invasion angle in wrestling. Just don't do it. I've yet to see one that they really pulled off. There's just too much politics in pro wrestling. The idea of an invasion angle is good on its face, and sometimes they begin really hot. But I just think over time, and we saw how AEW really fumbled with this Forbidden Door thing with Impact Wrestling. They didn't even start that invasion, let alone finish it. And so I just would not feel good about an invasion angle.
The one-man invasion.
No, because he will come with his dog.
Oh, that's true.
Oh. Yeah.
So Luis Calderon, $1.99. Issa Residente versus J Balvin. Pick a side. Renee is fire.
J Balvin.
There you have it. So back to SmackDown tonight. Naomi versus WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Carmella. Naomi getting that win. Naomi and Sasha building momentum towards their chase for the women's tag team titles. Thought this match was a little short. Thought it could have gone much longer.
Yeah. Very short. It was like pretty much a squash match. It was just a showcase for Naomi. You would have never known that Carmella was the tag team champion. But it looked good for them. I really am excited about the prospect of Team Bad being tag team champions because I feel like they could really kickstart this division.
Unity. I love seeing Sasha and Naomi matching, looking like a tag team already. 1 week built, and they already look better than most tag teams in WWE. I am personally excited for this match. I'm glad that they're doing something with Sasha and Naomi. So, but yeah, the match was very short, but it was good to see them on my screen.
Yes, reunited, and it feels so good seeing the two of them back together. Backstage, Happy Baron Corbin was playing poker with Madcap Moss and some of their friends.
Where was the NXT guy? Dune, where was he?
It's true. It's true. Duke Hudson's poker room doesn't travel, apparently.
Yeah.
Home games only.
Took his gimmick.
Oh, yeah. Poor guy.
Yes. And we came back to that throughout the night. George Devine with a $5 super chat asking the question, why promote the Madison Square Garden show so much just not to air it? Roman cut a promo tonight about how they tried to set up the intrigue of who'd Brock face and just not to show it. I mean, hey, sometimes you got to brag about the things you got going on.
Just to sell tickets. is to sell tickets. Madison Square Garden, 16,000 people, and you have millions that could be watching in New York City. You just want to sell the tickets.
And the last show they did at Madison Square Garden did not do well, and the tickets were pretty slow for this one. And WWE, particularly Vince McMahon, take pride in when they go to Madison Square Garden. They want it to be a sellout every time. It's their home base. And I do think it would be a good idea to air. They have aired house shows on WWE Network before with like a pay-per-view theme. And I just think the theme of Madison Square Garden would be enough to air it. And I think that would get people excited to go to these house shows if they knew that they were going to be on programming.
If you air it, you're not going to sell tickets. Why would I go if I can watch it at home in my room?
Just like once in a while. Yeah, I agree. I'm not always doing it, but for this special one to just show people on there. Yeah, I agree that you want the house show to be at the house show, but if you have a big thing, people are going to want to be on TV.
I
treat
think
it like a soft pay-per-view.
If you have more than 5,000 tickets sold, then maybe you air it, but you don't want to air a house show from Madison Square Garden looking half empty. It's just not attractive. It's not sexy, and we're not about that here. It's true. Wrestling Inc. After Dark.
Sexy, tasteful, but sexy. That's the key. So, Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Alfred, what did you think of this match?
It was exactly what I thought it would be. It was just all Drew McIntyre. It was okay. Promo was cute after.
He said cute. Was it sexy, though?
It was not sexy. It was a cute promo. It was an adorable promo from Drew McIntyre after.
You guys remember when Drew and Jinder feuded over Drew not texting Jinder back, and then like he broke his motorcycle, and then the whole sword. This is what started the whole sword movement. I'm also thinking like Shanky was out there. Veer has to be watching in whatever universe he's lost at, watching his two former friends being on TV, and he's just still trying to make it there. I feel bad for the dude, but yeah, a showcase for Drew McIntyre. I guess we're gonna get McIntyre versus Corbin at WrestleMania, because I'm assuming they're going to build a lot of one-on-one matches since it's 2 nights, but these are two guys that I wouldn't mind seeing in that multi-man ladder match for the IC title.
Happy Baron Corbin needs to keep playing poker until he loses everything. That's the key.
That's what I was hoping.
He's a gambling master. Yeah.
Yes, it did seem like that's where the logical conclusion would be. Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura, stars of the new Toyota Tundra commercial, came out tonight. And they went to the ring, but the Usos attacked them from behind, destroying them and leaving them laying. Sad ending to crowd favorites coming out to entertain the crowd.
I don't know. This might be setting up the Usos' next feud. We might be getting Boogs and Shinsuke as a tag team, finally, which is what everybody's been waiting for. I personally think I'm going to start ignoring my life's problem the way Shinsuke has ignored that he lost the IC title. I think that's the right approach.
Yeah, they've been a tag team for a while now. They've felt more like a tag team than they have Shinsuke being an IC champion. So now let's just make it official.
Right. But
Boogs is really getting over when he got attacked.
Yeah, if we're going to interrupt, it's got to be for Roman Reigns. So, of course, everybody get out of the way. The champion is about to come out.
This very interesting showcase moment tonight with Roman and Paul Heyman out there again, putting over the Madison Square Garden show, hyping up the Usos. Issa, I want you to remember tonight, tasteful, classy. I'm going to let you prep while I go to Alfred for his reaction first on this segment.
Okay.
Roman Reigns did a good job building to a crescendo. I felt like he didn't do it too early. It was very well paced. And then finally, when it was time for Roman Reigns to explode, he did so in a manner that I felt was very arousing to some people. You know, I'm not speaking on behalf of myself, but I'm sure a lot of people were aroused by the way Roman Reigns really got hot and bothered toward the end of that promo.
Just at me, bro. Just at me, bro.
Paul Heyman couldn't even be near him. He had to back away and give him his space in order to explode. That's how much the explosion was. So it was a very, very something to behold.
And fellas, here's what I want you to do after you do that Manscaped Blue Chew combo with your special man or lady. Just, chew that tablet, Manscaped, wait 30 minutes, walk in the bedroom and naked and say, acknowledge me.
30 minutes. It's a lot for the waiting room. I mean, I'm going to have to add some books in order for somebody to wait 30 minutes.
Everyone's metabolism is different, Alfred, but I'm saying wait that extra time. So if you're going to say acknowledge me, I mean, you really want to make sure you're at 110%, as Lou Ferrigno always gives. John Cena's bald spot, $5. It is surprising that they're using one of Brock's matches on a show they're not airing. The other couple times he appeared on house shows, they aired it.
That's not true. I have been to a good 5, 6, 7 MSG house shows that Brock Lesnar was a part of them that were not aired. The only one that aired was the one that he fought the Big Show. I've seen him wrestle a lot of people in MSG that was not aired. This one, they're just taking the time to promote it because the ticket sales were slow.
Yeah, it's very rare for WWE to air these house shows, and they did one for, what was it? The one in Tokyo.
Beast in the East. Yeah.
Beast in the East, yes.
Which is what Alfred calls it when he visits the Eastern Seaboard.
That's what I call it after I take a Blue Chew.
There you go. So, Issa, your tasteful, classy response to this Roman segment.
I was thirsty. Listen, it was beautiful. It was amazing. I love the promo. I love the intensity. The way that this man is over before he hits that acknowledge me line, and I knew this thing was going to become a thing, but the way that the crowd was chanting for him, they knew it was coming. They're waiting for it. Maybe when we eventually get that baby face turn, it's going to be huge, but I feel like it's getting there now with him as a heel. I love what he had to say. I love the threats. I love the intensity. But listen, it was better than a blue shoe for me.
There you go. And remember, Blue Chew exclusively for men, but women or partners, male partners, will also enjoy it as well. Brian Cyrus.
Women, if you need any help, just watch Roman Reigns.
Brian Cyrus with a $5 super chat saying that, yes, they did also air the Beast in the East house show, also the Madison Square Garden show where he faced the Big Show.
Yeah.
The Big Show. I think that was a typo.
Okay.
Typo. Those letters are
correct.
Nowhere near each other, at least the T and the W. But hey, what are you going to do? We did have the Viking Raiders versus the Usos. And this is interesting after the match that was supposed to happen in KSA that did not happen. Tonight, this was not really much to this match. All talk, little payoff.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a good time for what it was. I don't know why it couldn't happen in Saudi Arabia, but I mean, it was the same result that we knew was going to end up happening. There was one point that there was a very close call, like a very close kick out for the Viking Raiders. I didn't suspend my disbelief, but I was like, if I didn't know better, I would have thought they could have won it there. But I didn't think the match was not enjoyable, but I don't know why they waited so long to finally give us the match. We knew the Usos were winning. Why drag it out this long?
Yeah, I thought the near falls were very well done. That's what was the best part of this match to me. But it did suffer from the fact that I don't think anybody bought that the Viking Raiders were going to win this match because of how horribly they were booked throughout this feud, where they were just getting dominated by the Usos. Yeah. And there were a couple of issues in terms of, I felt like they were a little off with each other. But, they did a lot of good stuff too.
I just think for the way they've built up this feud and how long it's dragged on, if ever there was something that was calling for like a 30-minute main event, it would seem that they have built this like it's that type of feud. And I don't feel like they've given the Viking Raiders their full due and time to shine. And I say that as someone who doesn't really care for them as a tag team, but do more with this for how you've treated this. Like this was a really big deal,
Yeah.
So Sheamus versus Big E, with Big E and Kofi Kingston riding out on their quad. And, the quad got destroyed. Ridge Holland and Sheamus attacking, hitting Kofi, the match not happening. How are you feeling about Ridge Holland, Alfred?
I think he's promising. I don't know, but it's good that he's with Sheamus, but he's just kind of stuck in neutral. I just don't feel that they know what to do with him outside of just put him with Sheamus. And in terms of the New Day, like people are complaining because this week it was announced that Drew McIntyre is facing Happy Corbin, and people think that it's beneath Drew McIntyre to have to face Happy Corbin, but it's like, what's the New Day doing at WrestleMania? They're here. We're very close to WrestleMania, and they're now feuding over an ATV getting destroyed. Like, these are two world champions. One of them was a world champion within the last month, and you talk about a fall from grace. So it's like, this is what I think is the egregious scenario in WrestleMania. I don't know if they're going to have a tag team match at WrestleMania, but I don't know if this is a good start to WrestleMania season for the New Day.
Yeah, sadly, Alfred, it has been 2 months since he was world champion. It's just so fresh in our mind because he hurt so much how badly they treated Big E. But it was on day 1, and we're already in March, which is insane how long it has been, and it's never been addressed. It just happened with the New Day. I think they're probably better off moving Kofi to Monday Night Raw, because the Monday Night Raw tag team division is a lot more happening right now than the SmackDown one with, RK Bro. You have Seth and what's his face? Riddle, like, you know what I mean. You have all of these people that are fighting on a triple threat on Monday. I personally am enjoying the tag team division on Raw. Alpha Academy, maybe I would like to see New Day involved in that over there. So maybe they were better off moving Kofi to Raw. I don't know what they're doing. I was looking forward to Big E running somebody over with the ATV, but that didn't happen, sadly.
And also, if we're going to give New Day an ATV, it's got to be better than the standard Home Depot off-the-market red. They've got to put unicorns and, you know what I mean, colors, neon, ice cream.
And a pancake thrower. Like, as they 100%. Come out, this ATV needs to be throwing pancakes. Like, we need to call Exhibit and pimp this ride, like, now.
Yes.
Wow, I just made a very old reference. I feel like I work for WWE.
Pimp this ride. Pimp your ride is timeless. That's a timeless reference.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Alfred.
True. Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey tonight in the main event with SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair on commentary. Sonya Deville getting a great entrance. Ronda Rousey coming out. Huge reaction from the crowd. This match went probably how you expected it to go. But that being said, even with Ronda winning definitively tonight, Issa, what did you think of Sonya's performance?
Sonya, what did I think of Ronda Rousey? This is your weekly reminder that this woman just gave birth, and like she was looking fire out there. I think this is the best she's looked since she came back. Tonight, it felt like Ronda from a couple of years ago. From the attire to the way that she wrestled to the way that she looked to, I thought she looked very confident, the most confident we've seen her from the opening promo that she cut to what she looked like in the match, to when she was making Charlotte tap out. I think she told her feet stink. Like, I enjoy this Ronda. I don't know what she did. She said, your feet stink. Please hurry up and tap out. I really, this is the most I enjoyed Ronda since she came back at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully we continue to get her as we build towards WrestleMania, because then it will make people I personally enjoy everything that Ronda did. And it takes 2 to tango. Good for Sonya, but I was more interested in the afterwards. When the match ended 3 minutes early, I knew there was going to be some kind of confrontation between Ronda and Charlotte, and I was actually a little bit into that, more than I've been since the match was announced. So maybe they are doing a good job. You got to give them credits for starting to get some momentum going for this feud. Now it's being announced that both women's title matches are going to be on the same night, so they got to step up their game, or Bianca and Becky are going to take the main event right from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alfred, what'd you think of this match, the aftermath of this, with Flair coming into the ring and then Ronda still looking dominant?
I thought this is perfect. This is exactly how you use Ronda Rousey, more with less. I thought Ronda looked incredible. When she came back at the Royal Rumble, she was in kind of a bodysuit, which is completely understandable. So I'm just thinking, like, she's had a baby, probably looking to get her body back, but she got her body back, and then so she had the crop top going and looked great in terms of somebody who just had a child. And so it's good to see that she's all the way back, confident. And I thought the ankle lock is a great wrinkle. And I do think, I tweeted this, that I think they should do the Bryan Danielson thing where they were making a big deal about how she's got another move and she's not a one-trick pony. But I think she should have a different, because she knows a bunch of submissions that are legit, that are like UFC level submissions that they should introduce every single week leading up to WrestleMania, so that you know that she could finish in any single way. And people are always better when they can finish in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, to that end, Alfred, when you're trying to entice a potential date at Applebee's back to the waiting room and then ultimately the nasty nest, do you pull like a Jericho and list off all your moves for your potential mate for the evening?
That's exactly what I do, Glenn. It is a long list, and the armbar is the most popular move that I have there.
Moving on to AEW Rampage.
No, wait, before you move on, I just want to give a special shout out to Charlotte Flair's fit tonight. On point. She looked extraordinary. She looked stupendous. Stupendous.
I think Sasha Banks is the best dressed person in all of WWE, maybe even all of wrestling, but I go back and forth with her and Charlotte because Charlotte slays too.
All in all, though, I guess before Rampage, Alfred, you first, did SmackDown leave you feeling satisfied yet wanting more?
You know what? It's a good question. It was one of those things where it was like maybe an hour into the show, I was satisfied, but I was ready to go again. And I feel like I didn't get to get satisfied again. So maybe early on I was satisfied, but I didn't get that round two that I really wanted.
Issa, how quickly would you text SmackDown after tonight's date?
I would text SmackDown right away and ask for Roman Reigns' contact. Be like, yo, share this contact information, please.
There you go. Scooby 1961 with a $5 super chat asking, where is Raj? Perhaps he had a few too many drinks. He is the #1 WINC podcaster. Raj, we said tonight, Raj, we're doing WINC After Dark. And we're going to keep it tasteful and classy, a little seductive. But we're going to cover wrestling from the softcore perspective. Wrestling appropriate for couples. And Raj said, I'm all about the hardcore, baby. Yeah. I can't do it classy or tastefully. That's just not what I'm about. And unfortunately, he has no place on WINC After Dark for that reason.
Raj is a freak. He doesn't do softcore. Like, guys know one speed and it's hardcore.
Absolutely.
Call him Hardcore Raj around here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the text I'm going to get probably at 1 a.m. tonight. So AEW Rampage was live tonight.
Always makes such a huge difference. Always makes such a huge difference going into even the hype that I feel watching Rampage when it's live. It's completely different. It's like when you take Blue Chew and when you don't take Blue Chew. Rampage took Blue Chew tonight.
This was a Blue Chew Rampage. I agree.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, you're talking to your significant other on the phone and they're just like, oh, you sound so good. And I'm like, yeah, but wait till we're live, baby. Wait till we're face to face.
Yeah.
Nothing compares to live in the flesh.
In the moment.
Absolutely.
In the moment, especially for the crowd. The crowd was alive because you don't have the crowd hungover from watching 3 hours of Rampage plus Dark. This crowd was ready for this. And it actually, I felt like this show, based on the crowd, got me a little more hyped for Revolution than what I was prior to going into watching Rampage tonight. So good job.
Well, and speaking of which, I mean, what more hype way than to open with a 3-way with Sammy Guevara, Andrade El Idolo, and Darby Allin for the TNT title?
Nobody.
You know what they say about. You know what they said about 3-ways.
Yeah. What do they say?
I can't say it.
Please tell us.
Tasteful but classy.
No,
I'm just thinking of the Lonely Island hit single 3-way. Yes. That's all I'm thinking about.
But as far as 3-ways go, this one was smoking tonight because these 3 gentlemen tore it up in the ring. This could have been a pay-per-view match.
It should have been in the pay-per-view. 1,000% it should have been. But the TNT title doesn't make the pay-per-view because why?
I don't know. But Alfred, what did you think of this? And what did you think about the ending with Andrade taking that pin and Sammy still the TNT champ?
Well, that's exactly what I kind of expected because they are teasing Sammy and Darby long-term. I mean, they already had their match, but they're still kind of teasing these tensions, and they're going to be on the pay-per-view tomorrow, I guess, as is Andrade. I thought Andrade was fantastic in this match, by the way, as were the other two. And in terms of a match getting This Is Awesome chance, like we've seen matches that when the bell rings, they get This Is Awesome chance. So I'm not counting that. In terms of a match that authentically earned a This Is Awesome chant with the wrestling, this is like one of the quickest I've ever seen to where I think like even Taz called it out. I think like 2 minutes into this match or 3 minutes into this match, it was getting This Is Awesome chance because it was that good. And they just, I mean, I thought this was incredible how they, much like Batman, which is incredible. Everybody go watch Batman. I saw Batman last night. It lived past the hype. It just gets right into the movie and just goes for about an hour and a half. It's just nothing but action. And then the second hour and a half is a little slower, but it's still a very great movie. This was the wrestling version of Batman to me.
Wow.
Wow. I haven't seen Batman yet, so no spoilers, please.
No spoilers, but it's incredible.
I really, really enjoyed this match. I thought it could have been a part of the pay-per-view, no doubt. But if you want to start making Rampage must-watch television, live it's one part, and giving us matches like this is another. I'm still making fun of Sammy Guevara for carrying both belts. Like, one of those belts is like the FTW championship, buddy. Like, it doesn't count. You do not have to carry both of them. I'm not sure why he's still doing that, but good for him. Whatever. Maybe he might be compensating for something. I'm not sure. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I think that this is the best Andrade has looked in AEW in a long time. I love seeing this version of Andrade. Was rooting for him to win, but overall, this was one of the best triple threat matches that I've seen in the last few months.
Yeah, it was very good. Very, very good match. Look forward to seeing where they go from here with this. Although we are going to have Darby and Sammy on the same team with Sting in a 3-on-3 match.
Sammy's got an appetite. He's a freak. He brought a belt, 2 belts to a 3-way. It's usually a belt or a 3-way. He brought 2 belts to a 3-way. That man's got an appetite.
Alan Jones with
belt to a 3-way, Glenn.
All of mine have been non-title 3-ways.
Oh,
you know,
me too.
I mean, afterwards I might have done a little flexing, and just sort of, walked around doing a parade wave because, I was feeling confident. I was feeling like the champ, but no titles were on the line.
For me, there's always something on the line. Always.
Hey.
There's a super chat, Glenn. There's a super chat.
Alan Jones, $5 super chat. Raj is making burner accounts asking where he is and saying he's number 1. We're on to you, Raj.
Oh,
I miss Raj. But he couldn't keep it classy and tasteful, so he couldn't be here tonight.
Too hardcore. We'll do a hardcore podcast.
Yeah, the hardcore. There'll be there'll be age verification. Like, you'll have to sign into YouTube to watch that video. Maybe we'll stream that one on P-Hub just for, the raw uncensored commentary.
Could be like a cam situation.
So, Pac and Penta Oscuro in the ring following the commercial break. And Eric Redbeard has aligned with Pac and Penta against the House of Black. Now, were you pleased by this surprise, Issa?
yes. This is how you do it. Stop hyping them up and let just people surprise us and show up. And it just felt so much better than, being announced and people, not being happy with what they end up getting. I'm happy for Redbeard. What I really want to know is, did his spider get signed? Is Redbeard's spider all elite? Because if there's one extra spot for the Face of the Revolution ladder match, it should go to that spider.
100%. He wouldn't even need the ladder. The spider could just make a web, climb the web, and win the title. That's what I want to see. That's how you book wrestling.
Duh.
Love it. I love that.
Oh, can we talk about how House of Black was standing in, like, when they were cutting their promo? They looked like a cell phone signal. It was like it was so funny. I'm sorry, that's all I could think about.
No, I have that image in my mind. They really did.
I know.
I like they all dressed up in suits.
Yeah, but Buddy Matthews, man, he looks like he's been part of House of Black since day one. What a great addition.
Yeah. I did think that Alex Abrahantes doing all his stuff, it does make it into a bit of a cartoon. Like, they're really playing it straight. And Abrahantes cutting that promo, and he's good. He's a good character, and in his real life skin is just fine. I love his enthusiasm, but him in that goth costume just
it was
like,
weird.
they're really doing this seriously, and I cannot take this gimmick serious with him doing this.
Yeah, he was a little too hardcore for me tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, druids aren't sexy.
I mean,
Wrong types of robes.
That depends.
True. That depends
on the situation,
Maybe if I'm at Ren Fair, and there's a cauldron, and we're like recreating the opening of Macbeth, then yeah, sure, druid. Like, I'm down. It's all good. But just tonight, it did look a little out of place.
Right.
John Cena's bald spot, $5, saying AJ Styles no selling his attack on Raw to make super chats.
Yeah, shout out to AJ Styles in the super chat.
Shout out to
Got a concerto.
Jones. Alan Jones. In case you guys didn't know, I touch his hair. Any chance I get to talk about touching AJ Styles' hair, I will bring it up.
Now, here's another theory on AJ Styles. What if he got hit so hard in the head, he doesn't know where he is, so now he's just wandering around all these wrestling platforms, and he finds himself in the Wrestling Inc. Super Chat? I think
Maybe he
Alan Jones.
forgot. Maybe he has like amnesia, and somebody like the doctors and like his family is making him watch wrestling podcasts so they hear them talk about him, and he gets it back.
Yeah, I hope we can help him.
I hope so. AJ, you remember when I talked to you about your hair?
Tell us in the super chat, Alan Jones.
Yeah, please, Alan Jones. Let me know if you remember.
So, Keith Lee versus JD Drake. Good showcase for Keith Lee tonight. JD
Fantastic.
Drake looks like Bushwhacker Kevin Owens. Not that there's anything wrong with that, JD. I understand. You know, sometimes look, we've all been there. You know, husky boys with beards. I get it. It could happen to the best of us. But Issa, how do you think the Bearcat looked tonight, Keith Lee?
He's always going to look great. This match didn't really do much for me. I was excited to see him wrestle, but I could have waited until the pay-per-view to see him wrestle again. But hey, listen, they signed him and all we've seen him is do backstage things, so why not get him out there again in front of a live crowd? Fun match, short, to the point, simple. It's not gonna hurt anything. I just think that with the show being live, maybe I'm just not too familiar with JD Drake, but it would have been more enjoyable to see him against someone that we see on television every week, just to put the stakes a little bit higher and showcase him more. But I'm always gonna love seeing Keith Lee, and I hope he wins the ladder match on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. I'm rooting for Keith Lee. Like, my heart says Keith Lee. My head says that they might give it to Wardlow based on how they've been booking the storyline,
Right.
and even talking about how if he wins the TNT title, so clearly they have plans. But I think, you know, Keith Lee was super over. It's important to get him on TV wrestling. To Issa's point about the backstage segments, like, you do not get a feel for just how much he can connect with this crowd than when he's in a live setting. And I just think Keith Lee matches are so fun because not only is it so impressive to watch, but you've got all these great chants for Keith Lee that are very unique with the Keith Lee whoop whoop, the Bask in His Glory chant is great. And it's just a whole experience to see Keith Lee. And I thought, you know, it was great against Isaiah Cassidy because he could throw him all around the ring. But with JD Drake, he's a bigger guy. So when Keith Lee throws him around the ring and slams him, it looks more impressive.
So impressive.
Basic showcase. But I thought Keith Lee was great. And just holding him for like extended periods of time to flex and show how strong he is. Keith Lee's feeling himself, and I like this.
Yeah.
And
I
Drake
just want to
looks
see him win because I can only imagine the way he's gonna yeet freaking Sammy Guevara all over the place. Like, I need to see this match.
Me too.
Yeah, Drake looks very old school, but I thought that worked well tonight. I thought that was good. D Will, $5 super chat saying we need a heel Big E versus heel Kofi versus Woods and Mania. Also, Glenn, too bad we couldn't grab a drink when you moved to Vegas. I'm moving to Houston tomorrow. Well, D Will, have fun in Houston, and you know, hey, if these trends keep going down, maybe we'll all rock these outfits for a Wink Inc. Wink After Dark meetup around perhaps Money in the Bank.
And it'll be streamed
Double
on
or
Issa's
Nothing.
OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah, Double or Nothing. Yeah.
Definitely. That doesn't even make it to YouTube. We have to take it to a different place.
Yeah.
The Wink After Dark Pajama Jammy Jam.
Yeah.
Be a good time.
Why would we need a heel Big E versus a heel Kofi? One of those guys turning heel, I think, would be a bad idea. But you turn both of them heel for a WrestleMania program? Who would that help?
Yeah.
I don't want the New Day to ever break up, or if they go heel, let them go heel together. They go face, let them go face together. My last hope in believing in friendship and trust is the New Day. If they end, it's over for me.
Yeah.
Over.
I love, very well said. And I hope they are paying attention to that because they don't want to ruin friendship. Because they're not going to ruin they're going to ruin the concept of friendship if they break up the New Day. I agree with that.
Sure.
I'll never talk to anyone. I'll never trust anyone if the New Day breaks up.
It's true. My heart is hanging by a string since Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman separated. Because that, for me, was my pinnacle of true love. And if the New Day can't make it work, what hope is there for the rest of us?
Did they? Was this recently? Because I didn't even know they separated. That breaks my heart.
A couple years ago.
Oh, that's too bad.
But we've seen the pandemic has brought some couples back together. So perhaps there's hope.
I mean,
Jason Momoa's going back to Lisa Bonet.
there's not a lot of options out there. The dating thing is slow with the pandemic.
And do you think with Jason Momoa, it was hard for him to date because he kept getting mistaken for Roman
What?
Reigns? Because people keep thinking it was Roman Reigns, and then they were disappointed when they were like, "Oh, you're Aquaman. That's not as." Yeah, I was like, "Oh, you're
like
just
Roman
Aquaman."
Reigns from like Roman Reigns from Wish.com. He wishes he got confused for Roman Reigns. Please.
I can see the resemblance. I can see it.
Did you not see that Super Bowl commercial where he took everything off and revealed his real looks?
Yes.
Don't believe everything you see on TV.
So after Keith Lee won this match, we had the Professor Serena Deeb's 5-minute challenge with Layla Gray, who did not pass the 5-minute challenge.
Nobody's gonna.
But there was an attack after, and Hikaru Shida is back. With a kendo stick. Yeah, she was looking great.
Good to see her.
I feel bad for her because she said that her favorite times in AEW is sitting in catering. So I feel really bad that they pull her from catering to come be part of this segment. That's what she enjoys. So why pull her out of that? I'm excited for that. I thought these two really, really brought it when they had their feud. I just don't understand why anybody is answering this Serena Deeb's money on it. She's got to put money on the line like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man when he wrestled Macho Man, because otherwise I'm not going out there. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself?
It wasn't Macho Man. It was one of the GOAT wrestlers, Bonesaw.
Right.
Goat
You get what I broke. I'm sorry, I broke it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean.
I'm enjoying these 5-minute challenges. I hope and I trust that they're going somewhere in terms of a big debut, being the person who beats her, whether it's Ember Moon, Toni Storm, or whatnot. And I want it to be under a mask. I want it to be a complete shock until they reveal themselves. But I'm very excited.
Do you think somebody should beat her? Because right now she's the only credible contender that you're building for whoever. Well, Jade Cargill, Jade is winning on Sunday, or Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker. I feel like you have nobody else built up. The only person that has any momentum is Serena Deeb. So I personally wouldn't beat her right now so that she can contend for a title in the future, because you have run out of women to contend for this title.
Yeah, it does not have to be right now. This is something I want to see go on for. It's kind of like John Cena's Open Challenge, where it became this thing like, who the hell's going to be John Cena? And you just keep this thing going, and you could use it to build her up as. I mean, it would be weird to build her up as a number one contender by beating a bunch of rookies, because it's like the 5-minute rookie challenge. So that's one thing. But
that's what Jade Cargill did.
I mean, yeah, but they're telling us explicitly that she's challenging a bunch of rookies. Like, they're saying this is a rookie challenge, which I think it would be good for a heel to earn a number one contendership by beating a bunch of rookies. I think that's hilarious. I think that'd be perfect.
I know.
And but I want this to go on for as long as possible. And then when they're ready to beat her, they should make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's great that Sheeta's back. I think she looked absolutely fantastic tonight, and very curious to see what they do from her, with her from here. But Issa, to your point, have we heard any stories yet about AEW catering and how that compares to WWE catering?
I mean, based on what Eddie Kingston said tonight, AEW's catering is topping. Like, he made me want to go hang out at catering at AEW when he was talking about those pies.
Reese's peanut butter pie? That sounds like it slaps. Oh, my mouth started watering.
Yeah, what'd you think of that Kingston tonight?
I love Eddie Kingston on the mic, and I really, it's not that I'm rooting for him, it's that he has to win this match on Sunday. There is no other option for him. He's already lost too many of his feuds, and I can see Jericho being the one that he finally beats. I thought it was funny because while he cut a pretty serious promo afterwards, he was like, yo, let's go eat these pies at catering with Tony Schiavone. Like he's not even bothered by Chris Jericho right now, and I kind of like pop for that. I hope he wins this Sunday.
It was such a likable and relatable thing to do. It was such a babyface move, him eating pies with Tony Schiavone. It's like, how you can't be any more likable than that. So he's clearly the babyface in this feud. I too want him to win, and the fact that they have that stipulation where Jericho has to shake his hand, and this would be a good avenue to turn Jericho heel.
He's not going.
Yeah, exactly.
Jericho's gonna kick him right in the balls. He's not gonna shake his hand.
I could see that, because that's a great way to turn Jericho heel, is that if he loses and he doesn't shake Eddie Kingston's hand, just snaps. I could absolutely see that happening.
Which, while we're at it, shout out to Jericho, because the show went off the air and the last sentence that we heard was Jericho screaming, "I'm gonna kick your ass this Sunday, Kingston," which I thought was funny because he didn't get a chance to respond, so he's still thinking, "Let me put over my match real quick." That's literally the last words we heard going off the air into Revolution.
Yeah.
Being a pro.
And what do you think of CM Punk's promo, Issa, tonight?
PG Punk went off, son. This is the CM Punk I've been waiting to see. This is the CM Punk I wanted to see since he came back. And while I understood that we were all so happy to see him, myself included, I needed the intensity. And the fact that it brought it out of him that MJF pulled his own move on him, and now CM Punk knows, oh, I'm messing with another me. I'm going to have to step up my game. The way they recorded the promo with the bloody t-shirt still on. I wonder how Brian feels about CM Punk wearing his merch out there and getting it all dirty. Just a thought. But I love this. Might have been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, since he came back, CM Punk promo.
Yeah, Punk was on point. It was really good. I kind of wish this would have been live, to be honest, but he was incredible. He was on, everything they've done, every single thing they've done throughout this build to this match with MJF and CM Punk has been a home run. They've done a good job. I thought the blood looked a little fake. I thought it was a bit much in terms of the bloody on his shirt. It's clearly caked on, but that's just nitpicking. I thought it was a really good promo from CM Punk.
But I will say, I've been tweeting, I've been very vocal about it. This should be the main event of Revolution. This is the match that you actually took 3-4 months to build. You had 3 months to build up Revolution, and a lot of the feuds started being built 2 weeks ago. Not CM Punk and MJF. They should be the main event of Revolution. I rest my case.
A tough match to follow. May God have mercy on who has to follow this match.
Nobody, because it's going to be the main event. Otherwise, I riot. And by riot, I mean I'll roll my eyes a couple of times. But you know what I mean.
Well, Tony Khan already announced that the world, because AEW loves making those world titles the main event, which they probably should. But he's already announced that.
They gave blood and guts the main event in the past before they gave it to the world title.
Sure.
So just saying, this is one of the best feuds, non-title grudge feuds that we've seen in modern wrestling in a long time. It deserves a spot.
It definitely. There's
Come
an
at me, Tony
argument
Khan.
They could do like a lights out thing, but yeah.
Come at me, Tony Khan. Should be the main
event. NYC Demon Diva.
With a 1.
With her.
With a 1. Johnny Barnes, $5 super chat, saying tonight's theme has been priceless. I'm glad you're enjoying Wink After Dark.
What theme is that, Glenn?
It's sexy, but tasteful and classy.
Yes.
I love our ropes, by the way. I love our ropes.
It's important. A lot of other podcasts out there, they might use ribald language. They might say inappropriate things, but not here. We keep it classy.
Oh, we never say anything inappropriate. Not on Wrestling Inc. Ever.
It's very respectful. It's all very respectful.
Yeah. Very wholesome.
So let's
watch us with your kids. Watch us with your kids.
Well,
Mommy, what's a blue Jew?
Watch us and then go conceive some children. I think that's really.
There you go.
We're trying to set the mood. After you've had your softcore wrestling for couples, suitable for couples, you can enjoy that together. You can enjoy the Wink podcast, and then it's the magic hour. It's go time. You make it happen.
Go time.
Go time indeed. So Face of the Revolution qualifying match: Christian Cage versus Ethan Page. Hey, that rhymes. For the final spot in the ladder match at Revolution this Sunday. Alfred, what'd you think about this match?
Solid match. I mean, it's funny because it's this main event qualifying match between two people who are not going to win this ladder match, but they made the most out of it. And it's good to see Christian finally get a match. Has he wrestled in 2022?
No.
He's just been standing around hanging out with Jurassic Express.
Yeah.
This was Tony Khan's favorite wrestler.
2.0.
Yeah. And he just hasn't been doing much. So I was just happy to see Christian out there wrestling. He looks good, and he's one of these guys who I think is always going to have some level of star power in terms of him being in the ring. But yeah, good to see Christian back.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we opened tonight with a 3-way. It was extended. It went on and on and on. It was wall-to-wall action. And then we had a straight to the point, intense, but fast without rushing, insistent
Yes.
without being pushy. It got the job done in a record amount of time to go off the air, and I appreciate that.
Nothing premature here.
Sometimes things could go on too long. This did not overstay its welcome.
No,
Issa, your
it
thoughts?
didn't. It was a fun match. Like Alfred said, I even sent out a tweet like, "Oh, Christian wrestles? Like that's new to me because he hasn't been wrestling." I'm glad that he's not injured because that's what I was thinking. Is he like healing from some kind of injury that we don't know about? He looked great. He always looks great. It's fun to see Christian in the ring, and it's fun to see him in a ladder match. While I don't think he will be winning, it's never a bad idea to add Christian to a fun, exciting ladder match along with the other names. I think this ladder match is looking extremely spicy, and it's going to be a fun match at Revolution. So it was a fun time.
It's true. I appreciate spicing things up in the wrestling ring. I don't think we do that enough these days.
And I like the additional partners. That's something that's very underrated in terms of all these people in one ring at the same time.
A lot of people came out too after Christian won. Like talk about a lot of people joining in. We had a lot of people joining in.
I just hope they're all practicing proper safety and taking precautions.
Oh, there was no proper safety. Did you see that crazy dive? There's no proper safety. They're just going at it.
Got to be heat of the moment.
It's true. We had the Bucks come out. We had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and crazy times to finish Rampage tonight.
Gonna be a good pay-per-view. Gonna be a very, very good pay-per-view.
So Revolution happens on Sunday.
I thought that outside of the CM Punk and JS segment on Wednesday, I actually felt more hyped finishing Rampage than I did finishing Dynamite when it comes to the pay-per-view on Sunday, which they do it live. They always do the Rampage live. But I remember attending the one before Full Gear, I don't know, and I didn't feel as hyped as I did after tonight. I thought they did a really good job with tonight's show. It was a fun time. It went by fast, easy to digest,
So you like Rampage because it made you finish faster?
No, I like Rampage because it made me excited for what's to come.
Oh, very interesting.
Sometimes you have to leave them wanting more, Alfred. Yeah. Or is that not your policy at the Nasty Nest when you send them from the waiting room and you're like, hey, I'm a rambling man. Don't fall in love. Don't get attached because this might not happen again.
No. Everybody's a satisfied customer here at the Nasty Nest. I make sure
he has a questionnaire. He has a questionnaire he fills out after and then he's like, he has two decks, call them back, not call them back, and you know how it goes. So there's a questionnaire.
SurveyMonkey.com. Shout out to them. It's an exit survey that everybody takes. She's absolutely right.
It's like the emails I get. WWE wants your feedback as part of the fan council.
Oh.
What was your high point?
No, you do. I get those too. And as soon as you say something negative, they're like, thank you for your opinion. And it's like, you don't want my opinion.
This interview is over.
Yeah. It's like,
well, we're not going to
storylines, and you put bad, and they're like, thank you. You have completed this survey. And it's just like, don't you want to know why I think it's bad? Like, I always feel like, why email me? Why email me, bro?
That's hilarious.
So Sunday night, Revolution Wrestling Inc. will cover it live after. I have no clue who's doing the coverage, but I hope that like tonight, it's classy and tasteful.
Yes. I don't think anything could be classier than what we just did tonight, but...
Oh, no. One of our best shows yet.
Joe Kerr taking this out. Oh, if you've made it this far, this won't offend you. $5 saying my small package caused my wife's false finishes. So I applied some dirty deeds and finally got her over. I was excited, so I yelled, "Who's next?"
I love you, Joker. He shouldn't have had to pay for that. We should pay him $5 for that. Yeah. Thank you, Joker. That was a perfect super chat.
Wow. Creative. Talk about creative.
I love it.
So there you go, folks. Everybody have a great weekend. Keep it classy. Keep it tasteful. Take proper safety precautions. And we will join you back here next time on Wrestling Inc. After Dark. Until then.